division of Quincy Newspapers Incorporated presents the 97th annual WIAA Boys State Basketball Championships, live from Madison, Wisconsin. This WIAA Sports exclusive is brought to you statewide by Associated Bank. Sign up for Associated Bank checking today and get exclusive Packers checks featuring Aaron Rodgers himself. For details, visit AssociatedBank.com. Marshfield Clinic, encouraging you to live an active, healthy life. Marshfield Clinic, don't just live, shine. Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Rural Mutual Insurance Company, a proud sponsor of the WIAA Rural Mutual Sportsmanship Award. Go to ruralins.com. WIAA, support your public schools and your teachers. Join the conversation on Facebook /Speak Out Wisconsin. WIAA, moving education forward. And by the Dairy Farm Families of Wisconsin, the Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board.
From the Kohl Center in Madison, site of the WIAA State Boys Basketball Tournament, it is Division IV State Semifinal time. Oshkosh Lourdes getting set to take on Cuba City. Hello everyone, I'm Jake Zimmerman along with Wisconsin Rapids head coach Dan Witter, and I'll tell you what, coach, we got a couple of teams here that have been here before indeed. Cuba City, 11th state appearance at state, and then Oshkosh making its third trip here to state.
Yeah, both a lot of experience involved. Of course, Coach Pettigrew being down here a few years, hasn't been for a while though. I think 2005 was the last time, and then Lourdes has been here a couple times.
Well, let's take a look at our Menards points of the game, and we will begin with the Cubans. Corey Vossen, he is their star, coach, at 19.8 points per game, over 4 steals as well.
Size and strength. Looking at the field goal percentage, 64% is definitely phenomenally high for a field goal percentage, so it looks like he gets some pretty good looks inside.
Now, the one thing about Oshkosh Lourdes, they are incredibly balanced. Let's take a look here now. Here's the 5 players we're going to highlight for you. And like I said, I mean, you take a look all the way down the board. You got 10 points each for Hartenbach and Klayman. Bayman 9.4, Sommerfeld 9.3, and Charlie Noon, the sophomore, 7.9. That is truly a balanced group.
Yeah, and that can be good and bad. You know, you can't really defend one player, but by the same token, sometimes you like to have a go-to guy when you need a shot or you need a basket. So sometimes that can work to your advantage, and sometimes it can be a disadvantage.
You got Cuba City coming in here, a perfect record right now. They haven't lost since last year at the sectional final. Oshkosh Lourdes has lost a few, but they've lost to some very good opponents as well.
Yes, Randolph, obviously we know about them, and then Racine Lutheran, and then Oshkosh North, both who are down here at the state tournament. So their 3 losses are pretty good teams.
How do you see this breaking out right now? I mean, you got Cuba City with that 1-3-1. Oshkosh Lourdes, as we just said, very balanced too.
Yeah, it'll depend if they can handle the 1-3-1, and the 1-3-1 can do a couple of different things. First of all, they can trap out of it, or they can play it straight, and you have to be able to move the ball, and you can't settle for just jump shots.
Should be an interesting game. We'll have the tip-off coming up after just a couple of minutes. Now a message from our statewide sponsors. This is your WIAA network station.
That was me, the slam dunk king. All right, that was me. 6 championships under my belt. I never got off the couch. So then one day I looked in the mirror and I saw my dad. Started playing basketball for real, but not with these giants. Or with him. There we go. Playing with Ben and James. Yeah. Almost dunked it. Soon I'll be able to dunk it.
In Wisconsin, we believe in lessons learned early in life. Play hard and play fair. That's why Rural Mutual Insurance sponsors WIAA Athletics and the WIAA Rural Mutual Sportsmanship Award. We're proud of Wisconsin and of our agents and claims adjusters who give undivided attention. They don't stand on the sidelines when misfortune hits. We serve everyone, rural or city, with the fastest claim service in the state. Rural. It's not where you live, it's what you value. A Farm Bureau service.
There is such a need in Wisconsin for dental care.
And we've stepped up to the plate, both in terms of money, resources, and people.
We're improving access throughout the state for needy populations.
We're giving back to the community.
We're always thinking about ways to make life better for everyone.
Our mission and our reason for being is to improve access to oral health care.
It's just simply the right thing to do.
That our flag was still there. Oh,
Star-Spangled Banner yet wave, o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Nice job on the national anthem there by the Oshkosh Lourdes Chamber Choir. And now for tonight's lineups of this game, let's send it over to PA announcer Rick Torgerson.
And now let's meet the participants in tonight's Division IV semifinal game between the Oshkosh Lourdes Knights and the Cuba City Cubans. First, let's meet the participants for the Oshkosh Lourdes Knights. Number 10, Jimmy Brooks. Number 11, Sam Seibold. Number 15, Gavin Galazka. Number 20, Josh Kalmus. Number 25, Josh Hansinger. Number 32, John Yerk. Number 34, David Grunstead. And number 40, Kyle Hellman. Now let's meet the participants for the Cuba City Cubans. Number 4, Einar Fremont. Number 10, Jason Derby. Number 12, Nathan Wallenhorst. Number 20, Preston Dressler. Number 23, Jordan Huber. Number 30, Griffin Eckhart. Number 32, Jeff Meckstroth. Number 40, Greg Ganter. And number 44, Alex Murphy. And now let's meet the starting lineups for the Oshkosh Lourdes Knights. At guard, number 3, Mickey Hartenbach. At guard, number 5, Robbie Clayman. At guard, number 24, Charlie Noon. At forward, number 23, Brett Bayman. And at forward, number 45, Dylan Sommerfeld. And the head coach of the Knights is Dennis Riedinger. And now let's meet the starting lineups for the Cuba City Cubans. At guard, number 1, number 2, Brandon Slotts. At guard, number 42, Nate Murphy. At forward, number 22, Corey Vossen. At forward, number 34, Zach Adams. And at center, number 50, Trent Denlinger. And the head coach of the Cubans is Jerry Pettigrew. Officials for tonight's game are Jeff Totsky from Eagle River, Mark Goda from Stevens Point, and Jeff Welk from Rhinelander.
And here are the starting lineups brought to you by Delta Dental of Wisconsin, ensuring great smiles for 50 years. Experience the Delta Dental difference. For the Oshkosh Lourdes Knights, Hartenbach, Clayman, Noon, Bayman, and Sommerfeld. And for the undefeated Cuba City Cubans, Slotts, Murray, Vossen, Adams, and Denlinger. Cuba City coming out in the white uniforms. In the red is Oshkosh Lourdes, and we are underway in this Division IV state semifinal.
It'll be interesting to see in Oshkosh Lourdes man-to-man if they can defend against the size of Cuba City.
Quite a size difference, as we talked about. 6 players, at least 6'3" for Cuba City, only 3 for Oshkosh Lourdes. A turnover early on here, and Oshkosh Lourdes will have the ball.
Looks like they're fronting the post on defense. Lourdes is making it tough to get it inside. Here's the 1-3-1, already one turnover apiece. A little bit of nerves here, I think.
Now, as we talked about, I mean, both of these teams in their school's history have been here before, but you know, you'd still get out here. These guys haven't been here, and it's little nerves going early on, right?
The experience lies with the coaches.
Taken away again by the Knights.
The experience lies with the coaches, and that you can try to translate it to the kids, but it doesn't always work that way.
And that'll be Cuba City ball still.
There goes the water.
Well, that'll happen, not necessarily in the first minute of the game.
No.
Hey, he felt like he just wanted to take a little shower right off the bat.
Well, he's got some drying up to do.
Looks like he's okay. That's the important thing.
Looks like a running back going across the goal line.
The 2012 WIAA Boys Basketball Tournament is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs.
One whole cooler, and like you said, if it was later in the game, it might not be quite as full, but I'm sure it's pretty full right now. Not anymore, but it was when it got knocked over.
All right, get that cleaned up here and get that to action. But it's taking a bit over there. You're gonna need some fresh towels, I think, when they're all said and done as well.
Absolutely.
Trying to see if any of the fans got a little soaked.
Not quite the globetrotter trick with the bucket and the confetti or water.
All right, here we go. Cuba City with the ball, still scoreless. 1 minute into this Division IV state semifinal. Kick it around. This is Murray. Off the mark there, and Oshkosh Lourdes will bring it up again. Quickly up court this time. Three-point attempt is good. Brett Bayman for three, and they're on the board.
Lourdes look like they are double teaming and trapping sometimes, depending on, I don't know what the signification was or how they decided.
They go inside to Denlinger. No, but a foul is called, and he'll head to the line. Let's go take a look at that three-point shot here by Brett Bayman. He averages just over 9 points per game. He's about 43% on his three-point shooting on the year, so he can hit from beyond the arc.
They had three guys come at the ball handler, and he dished it to the open guy. So I think that's, I'm not sure Coach Pettigrew wants all three guys out there.
And Cuba City is on the board as Trent Denlinger knocks down the first one. He is a 67% free throw shooter. And if he looks like a pretty big guy, well, you know what? He is. In fact, he's going to be a Badger football player next year. They expect him to play defensive end as a preferred walk-on to the Badgers.
Now they extend the 1-3-1 past half court.
Kick it around.
There's a trap.
That's what we were talking about. That's what can cause some teams fits. They nearly found the open man, but it's a turnover, and Cubans will bring it up court.
Well, the diagonal's a weakness against the 1-3-1. I'm just not sure Lourdes has the size to throw it up to somebody.
This is Brandon Slots with the ball. Kicking it over to his teammate there was Murray, just off the mark on a three-point attempt. And it'll be Lourdes' ball again.
Lourdes has done a really good job of keeping Cuba City off the boards. 2 or 3 guys blocking out the big guy at a time and then making sure they're in front of him.
Well, there's a look at Jerry Pettigrew. 40 years at Cuba City. He has been the head coach. I mean, you think about legendary coaches in the game of basketball on the high school level, and Jerry's name is right there at the top. Doesn't matter what state you're talking about. The winningest coach in Wisconsin high school history with 817 wins. Quickly ahead of the Cubans, and that's a nice lay-in there. Finishing it off, Nate Murray.
After the missed shot, they really pushed it down the floor looking for the easy shot underneath. There's the trap out front.
Now a three-point attempt, just off the mark by Hartenbach. One and done for Lourdes. Here comes Cuba City again.
They're pushing the ball.
That's Murray inside.
That's 2 finishes on the end of the break for Murray.
So Nate Murray with 4 quick points. There you see the jersey colors. Oshkosh Lourdes in the red and Cuba City in those white unis. Taken away. That's Murray. Up court, and he's got, I was going to say he had 6 points already, but you know what? They get the bucket anyway. Corey Vossen finishes. And the foul. Take another look here at the steal. Nate Murray taking it away. He doesn't finish, but there's Vossen to clean it up, +1, and he'll head to the line, try to make it a 3-point play. There you see Vossen's numbers. Excellent numbers, nearly 20 points a game for Corey Vossen.
You can see why he shoots 64% from the field. He's got right in there on the offensive rebound and finish, and then got fouled.
And after going down 3-0, Cuba City has scored 9 straight points to take a 9-3 lead. But as you were talking about, Coach, I mean, that trap, that's going to give Lourdes some fits, and it has done so and caused a few turnovers already.
Well, they did it once, working through the middle, and that's where they got to work through it. The long skip pass really helps Cuba City in their length and size to be able to get in front of that and intercept it. And then after they do make the steal, they're going down and finishing with their size on the other end.
There's a look at what we were just talking about. The most coaching wins by far, Jerry Pettigrew at the top there. And 40 years at Cuba City, 44 years overall as a head coach, 817 wins, just incredible.
It's mind-boggling just looking at the number.
755 wins at Cuba City alone.
71 years young.
Young indeed. He's so much fun to watch, not just during the games, but you go see him at practice sometimes. He's as energetic as ever. That's Mickey Hartenbach scoring there, so that ends that 9-0 run by Cuba City.
That's what I talked about, shortening up your passes and working through the middle, and you can't depend on just jump shots.
They got it in quickly there, did the Cubans to Denlinger. And a foul called, and he'll head back to the line.
Also number 20, Josh Kalmus. That's his first, team's third.
That's Josh Kalmus with the foul. So he's 3 of 3 from the line right now as Denlinger.
If he can make his free throws like that, I think that's going to be a little trouble for Oshkosh Lourdes because he's pretty big and he just puts it in the basket.
Still cleaning up that water dump, though. You know, you get it off the court, it's okay. Now they can just go to business over there.
Short corner.
3-point attempts. Just short. That was by Brett Bayman, and here come the Cubans again. Brandon Slotts driving inside. Count it! Actually, that will be a foul against
a charge.
Cuba City. A charge was called, so let's take another look here. Yeah, he was in position, wasn't he?
That's his first, team's first.
Outside the circle and everything.
Brett Bayman pumped after that one. That's right.
Even though it doesn't matter here.
That inside circle that you see in college basketball. And he tried to go inside, did Charlie Noon.
I still like what they were doing, getting it into the middle of the defense and not just settling for jump shots. Once you get it in there and then you kick it out, then that's probably a good time to shoot that ball. But just swinging it around the outside, just throwing it up is probably not going to get it done. You're only going to get one shot, and then Cuba City's going to have the rebound.
You get the feeling that's certainly what Coach Riedinger was talking about when they called that timeout after they went down 9-3. Tipped in nicely by Trent Denlinger.
They spread the floor that time and let the point guard go one-on-one. He broke the guy off the dribble the last time, ended up getting a charge, but this time got by, and then it opened up some offensive rebounding opportunities.
The Cubans back out to an 8-point lead now. Three-pointer is in. Robbie Clayman knocking down the three.
They're going to have to hit shots, no doubt about it, because it's going to be tough with their lack of size to get it inside at all times.
See Oshkosh Lourdes this season, what they've done for field goal attempts made. And you know what? The Cubans come right back and answer with a three-pointer. That's Brandon Slotts. He's about a 25% three-point shooter. Averages just over 4 points per game. Well, he's got 3 right there. Lourdes having a heck of a time with the ball. Cubans take it away. And it's going to go the other way now. But I tell you what, you looked at that cross-court pass. They got lucky that it wasn't taken away on that one. So we're going to take a quick timeout. 16-8. Cuba City is on top right now, still in the first quarter. Now a message from our statewide sponsors. This is your WIAA network station.
Okay, Edith, you are all set with the Packers checking account.
Thank you.
And we have a special gift for you.
Oh?
Hello, Edith. Want more Aaron Rodgers in your life?
Oh, my.
Is that part of the deal?
Oh.
Get exclusive Packers checks featuring Aaron when you open a Packers checking account. For details, go to your nearest branch or visit us online.
So do you play canasta?
All the time.
I love that game.
Save big during the Menards Kitchen and Bath Sale. Make everyday life a little easier with Moen kitchen faucets all on sale. The two-handle traditional high arc with chrome finish is $69. The Renzo pullout, also in chrome finish, is only $89. Enjoy every day with showers from Max. The Olympia round model features a silent roller door, $599. The Azure corner model with clear tempered glass walls and door is just $699.
Save big money at Menards.
Welcome back to the Kohl Center. 16-8. Cuba City on top of Oshkosh Lourdes in this Division IV state semifinal game. There's a look at Coach Dennis Reedinger, 13th year at Oshkosh. 158 wins for him. He's only got, 600 more to go to catch Jerry. But you know what? I can say that about many coaches around the area.
He's not in that category all by himself.
Had it away there. Denlinger taking it away. Nice drive, and he gets it to go. That is Corey Vossen there. Cubans out to a 10-point lead. Some nice ball movement there. They just couldn't finish.
It's the right place to go with it. The size is really starting to bother Oshkosh Lourdes, even when they do get it inside.
Again, we talked about that size differential. You got a guy that's 6'5" and 6'6" for the Cubans, and Oshkosh Lourdes doesn't have anybody that size. Zach Adams with the finish there. Cubans up 20-8.
Very unselfish play. He saw the roll and he just gave it up for a layup. He could have easily shot that ball, but that's going to win you games. Unselfish basketball.
Taken away again by the Cubans. And they might be just content to ride out the rest of this first quarter. Or not. Take a shot and hit. That's once again Corey Vossen.
He does a lot for them. Defensively at the top of the zone, and then offensively, either passing the ball for a layup or taking it himself.
So Lourdes looking to finish this first quarter with a basket and trim that lead back a little bit before the buzzer sounds. 4 seconds to go here. Did not get that shot off. So, at the end of one quarter of play, it has been all Cubans, 22-8, Cuba City on top of Oshkosh Lourdes. Now a message from your local station. This is your WIAA network station.
Please be advised that the Kohl Center is a non-smoking facility. The WIAA participants and all fans in attendance, thank you for your cooperation.
Welcome back to the Kohl Center. This WIAA game summary is brought to you by Skyward, creator of Skyward School Management System and Skyward Family Access, the best solution for Wisconsin school districts and parents. And Coach, I mean, the numbers kind of reflect the score right now. It's been all Cuba City.
Yeah, the shooting percentage and the rebounds. It's one shot and done. There's no second chance points for Lourdes. And even when they are getting the ball at the basket, it's being contested by the size and length. By size, I mean strength. And the length of Cuba City.
Cuba City is 8 of 14 right now shooting. That three-point attempt off the mark there for Charlie Noon. And we're going to have a little discussion here to see whose ball it's going to be. It's going to stay Lourdes' ball.
Charlie Noon, just a sophomore. This is pretty big to be in this kind of situation for that kid. Good diagonal.
Nice feed inside to Sam Seibold.
Good back screen on that pass also.
You were just talking about. I mean, Charlie Noon, he sees the court well. We saw him out here in the shoot-arounds. He doesn't really look like a sophomore out there on the court.
No, he's physically strong enough.
Closed captioning of this WIAA tournament broadcast is brought to you by your local WIAA network station. So after one basket, the Oshkosh Lourdes will get it back. Try and cut into this lead a little more.
Again, I like them getting it inside. Now maybe if you can get it inside and then maybe kick out for a three and try to cut into this lead a little bit.
Here's Charlie Noon, the 6-foot sophomore guard, nearly taken away by Cuba City. Noon sets it back up here.
Diagonal.
And taken away by Cuba City again. Boy, that trap just gives teams fits.
Swallows you up.
It's a tough pass there and a turnover by Cuba City.
You don't want to try to dribble out of that unless you can get through before that double team comes to you. And then if you can dribble through, break the double team with the dribble, I think you got an opportunity.
Well, and then you just saw that stat. I mean, that tells a lot of the success of Cuba City. Almost 18 steals per game this year. That's pretty incredible. And the scoring differential for Cuba City this year is just crazy as well. I mean, they average 78.8 points per game. They allow just 38. So they are dominant, certainly. Unauthorized use or rebroadcast of this program and live internet stream without the express written consent of Quincy Newspapers Incorporated, Wisconsin Broadcast Division is strictly prohibited and a violation of U.S. copyright law.
I thought that was a pretty good look. Just got to start knocking those down. But again, it's only one and done.
And the Cuban strike back, Zach Adams. He had 25 points and 12 boards in a big game in the sectional finals. And the other thing is, you can say he comes from some pretty good stock as well to Zach Adams. Grandfather Vern Deiters was an all-conference player on the 1957 Cuba City team. Hey, we're talking about him, and he's making all the plays here.
Well, he gives them a lot of length through the middle. I mean, you look at their front four guys. That's some length and strength.
That three-pointer is good for Charlie Noon. So Lourdes, after an early three, went cold. Now they get that one. Strike back within 13. Cubans try a quick basket. No, but there's Denlinger inside the score.
Guys are in the right position. He's just bigger and stronger.
Big, strong guy who, again, is going to be a Badger football player next year. That jumper is good, counted, plus the foul for Kyle Hellman. Kyle Hellman, who's just a sophomore as well for Oshkosh Lourdes. Here's another look.
Again, that penetration to the inside and then kicking out, that's a good jump shot, and you get it within rhythm.
Well, that was a nice job by Mickey Hartenbach. He drew a lot of the attention and was able to kick it out to his teammate. And Hellman scores. Hellman averages just 1.2 points per game. Well, he's got over double that already in that last minute. We go back inside. The fadeaway is no good there by Corey Vossen. Nice ball movement. Three-pointer is in and out. In and out there for Charlie Noon. And here come the Cubans again. And a whistle. And that'll be against Charlie Noon. Into the game, here comes Robbie Clayman again.
24, Charlie Noon.
He's going to take the place of Brett Bayman right now. Well, the 2012 WIAA tournament is brought to you by the Wisconsin Education Association Council. Support your public schools and your teachers. Join the conversation on Facebook. Speak Out Wisconsin. WEAC, moving education forward.
I still like what Lourdes is doing offensively. They're getting some decent shots, but they're only getting one of them. There's no offensive. I don't know if they have any offensive rebounds yet. I don't think so, but they're, it's one and done.
We talked about how long Jerry Pettigrew has been in Cuba City, the amazing success that he's had. One thing that is pretty telling, though, is that three-point attempt is just in and out. Denlinger takes it away, but it's going to be a foul over the back there. Coach Pettigrew said in his 40 years at Cuba City that this team might be the best collection of talent that he's had. Boy, that is saying something.
Well, if you look at them, there's really not a weak place on the team offensively or defensively with what they're doing in the 1-3-1.
It's his second undefeated team, the only other one coming in 1983, but he was quick to point out they only play about 20 games in a season back then. And they did not win state that year. They lost their first game at state that season. Three-point attempt there for Oshkosh Lourdes. Robbie Clayman off the mark. Here come the Cubans again quickly. Nice feed inside. Turn around, no, but a whistle. And we'll have a push. And Zach Adams once again trying to fade away. He will head to the line.
Also number 24.
The length when they get down court is just too tough. In a set defense, I think Lourdes can do a decent job of keeping the ball in the middle, but once you're spread out on a fast break situation, it's one-on-one, and they're giving up 3-4 inches at each position.
Another incredible stat for this Cuba City team. All 5 Cuba City starters made first team all-conference, and it's the first time that's ever happened in the history of the SWAL Conference.
Well, I think you touched on it when you said the disparity in the scores, from their scores to their opponent's scores. I mean, when you're beating teams by that, you're clearly dominant, and I think, all 5 of the guys are important in that statistic.
Make no mistake, they are facing a very good Oshkosh Lourdes team here as well. A team that knocked off Shiocton and Amherst in the sectionals, Iola Scandinavia and Algoma in the regionals. Kyle Hellman with that jumper. That is a three-pointer, and it's back to a 10-point game now.
Got 3 minutes if you can just get it into single digits. I think you could be happy with where you're at.
Now Cuba City with a three-point attempt and right back at him. That's Jason Derby. He's a junior guard for Cuba City. Hits a three and makes it a 13-point lead again. Now taken away yet again. Cuba City, another steal. That one is good to go for Brandon Slotz. Well, I tell you, just the weapons that they have, and they can strike very quickly. Just a second ago, Oshkosh Lourdes had trimmed it down to 10. Cuba City back out to a 15-point lead, and once again, they take it away. And Cuba City throws it away. That's Corey Vossen there trying to kick it over to his teammate. But when we come back, it will be Oshkosh Lourdes ball as they try to trim down a 15-point deficit. Now a message from our statewide sponsors. This is your WIAA network station.
Self-expression can make a world of difference. Allowing individuals to express themselves is, in effect, telling them, you matter. By giving educators a voice, promoting programs like music and art. WIAA speaks for me and my students. Add your voice to the conversation at Speak Out Wisconsin on Facebook.
Ah, the workout is over. Time to recover, refuel, and re-energize. Recent studies suggest that one drink can help muscles recover faster than other leading sports drinks. Delicious, nutritious chocolate milk. With its powerful package of protein, potassium, calcium, and 6 other essential nutrients, shouldn't chocolate milk be your choice? Got chocolate milk?
Back at the Kohl Center, and there you see the score of this Division IV state semifinal game. Cuba City on top of Oshkosh Lourdes, 34-19 right now.
Just when you start to think, like you said, you cut it to 10 and then all of a sudden a 5-point run and then they stretch it out again. They have so many weapons, and looks like virtually all 5 guys on the floor for Cuba City can score. Even though they do have one person scoring a lot more than the others, you can see that they're unselfish and they're not forcing anything.
After this game tonight, it'll be another Division IV state semifinal between Colfax and Dominican. And of course, we'll have that for you right here on your WIAA network station. Oshkosh Lourdes in the red. That's a 3-point attempt that's off the mark. Once again, the Cubans come away with it. That's Slots. Bring it up quickly now. Nate Murray being hounded there by Bayman.
They're very strong with the basketball, so even if you have them trapped in a corner, they're strong enough to keep people off and then look for the open player.
Nice look inside. Counted plus the foul for Zach Adams. That was just a nice dish, and Corey Vossen pumped his fists after that one. It was just a nice look, and they're using that size to their advantage there.
Looked like it was somewhat of a set play that he was going to seal the guy down low, and they got Vossen in the middle and then looked down.
So it remains a 17-point lead. Zach Adams standing at 6'5". And Corey Vossen knew if he just puts that up for him, pretty good chance he's going to haul it in. Blocked, but we will have a whistle. That's going to go against Zach Adams, I believe. So heading to the line is going to be Dylan Sommerfeld. Now, we talked about the height difference, but Dylan Sommerfeld is the tallest team for, or tallest player, I should say, for Lourdes at 6'4". He's a junior. And he hits the first free throw.
He's got a tough task. He's got Denlinger on one end that he's got to defend and work really hard, and then he's still got to finish for him because he does, like you said, he's the only one of a few people that has size on that side of the court.
There's a look at Einar Fremont into the game for Cuba City. Once again, Slots will bring it up court.
It's like another set.
Once again, inside, and Denlinger does the rest. Trent Denlinger now with 10 points. He's the Cubans' leading scorer so far. Zach Adams has 9. Nice move there by Hartenbach, just couldn't finish, and now the Cubans come up quickly. And that is Murray laying it in again. 40-21, Cuba City on top. Lourdes having one last shot here at the end of the half. Oh, taken away once again. The shot nearly half court. Nearly goes for Vossen. And that is the end of the first half as Cuba City 40-21 over Oshkosh Lourdes. Now a message from our statewide sponsors. This is your WIAA network station.
In Wisconsin, we believe in lessons learned early in life. Play hard and play fair. That's why Rural Mutual Insurance sponsors WIAA Athletics and the WIAA Rural Mutual Sportsmanship Award. We're proud of Wisconsin and of our 150 agents who give undivided attention before misfortune hits. Rural or city, everyone wins because with us, premiums paid here stay here to keep Wisconsin strong. Rural, it's not where you live, it's what you value. A Farm Bureau service.
Skyward is critically important to the functioning of and operation of our school district. It provides us with the software and technology for student software, for financial software, for personnel software. A community values its school system when it sees that it can provide great services to its kids. Skyward provides that access. So the community itself is grateful to Skyward and the district for its partnership because it gives them greater confidence in their school district.
And we are at halftime of this Division IV state semifinal. Cuba City on top of Oshkosh Lourdes. There's a look at the Cuba City dance team as halftime has just begun here at the Kohl Center. Well, you know, Coach, you take a look at that score at the half, 40-21, obviously. You know, Cuba City is really having its way with Lourdes as of right now. And you look at the size and the strength and the trapping defense for Cuba City, and I think that's really been the difference so far.
Well, Cuba City's just been so impressive. Even when they cut it to 10, they went on another, I think it was a 9-0 run, and it may have been 2 or 3 of those 9-0 runs that they've had at different times when Oshkosh Lourdes has scored a basket or two. Their size, they ran a couple sets, got it inside, used their strength and their size, and then they hit a couple threes when they were open also.
Well, we will see what happens in the second half begins here in just a few minutes, but for right now, let's send it up top to Brian Grob.
All right, thank you very much, Jake Zimmerman and Dan Witter. Of course, we couldn't bring you this telecast of the WIAA State Basketball Tournament if it weren't for our variety of sponsors, and one of those is Delta Dental. And it's my pleasure to introduce Dave Anderson. He is the VP of Sales and Marketing for Delta Dental. We want to thank you for coming out here, and why is Delta Dental such a proud supporter of WIAA basketball?
Well, it's March, it's Wisconsin, it's the climax of March high school madness. What a better place to be. The positive energy here in Madison, 80 degrees, a wonderful day. But more importantly, it gives us the opportunity to talk about our mission. And
what exactly is that mission? What organizations do you support throughout our state?
We support many, but our mission is to improve the overall access to oral health care in the state of Wisconsin. So for the residents of the state of Wisconsin, we primarily do that through offering dental insurance. But secondly, we are involved very actively in the state. This is our home state. Our employees are here in Stevens Point. We have customers in every county. So that's exciting for us. And we do that through philanthropic efforts. We're proud to sponsor with the Wisconsin Dental Association Mission of Mercy, which comes here to Wisconsin every year, provides dental health care to people who can't otherwise afford it. We sponsor scholarships at different universities. We sponsor scholarships at the dental hygienist schools. All those things that really help improve the access to oral health care in the state of Wisconsin.
And this is a big year for Delta Dental as well.
Exactly. We're really excited because this is our 50th anniversary. And we've got a long-standing tradition of providing dental insurance in the state. We have many of the schools that are here today as customers of ours, and it's our privilege and pleasure to allow us to give a little back and show our commitment.
And that really is your mission as a not-for-profit, to give back to our community, like you talk about, not only in certain parts of the state, but throughout the whole state of Wisconsin.
Exactly. We have efforts in all corners of the state of Wisconsin.
And this is a great time of year with the basketball and a lot of smiling faces. Isn't it fun to see after a nice dunk or a nice play, you get a nice smile? And that brings us back to our good dental care.
Yes, especially. Well, just being in Madison, I think of all the positive memories I have of coming to the field house and now the Kohl Center. And, how can you not have a good time here? Even the kids who aren't fortunate enough to win a championship are leaving here with memories and just so much of a great positive experience and having, just the energy of this place.
Dave, we thank you very much for coming down, and thanks to Delta Dental for being a sponsor of our telecast this year.
Thank you, Brian. It's our privilege.
Thank you very much. Cuba City does have a lead at the half, 40-21, and we're going to send it back downstairs to Jake Zimmerman and Dan Witter so they can set you up for the second half of this ball game.
Okay, Brian, thank you very much. Again, the score at the half right now, 40-21. Cuba City on top of Oshkosh Lourdes. Let's take a look at the first half highlights right now, and then we'll maybe talk a little bit about how we think maybe Oshkosh can get back into this thing a little bit. Here's some look at some of the things that Oshkosh did very well early on in this game. Brett Bayman hitting that three-pointer. And then Robbie Clayman coming up here. Hits that one as well. Now, they were just 4 of 11 from three-point land, so they did take 11 three-point shots. And here comes Cuba City. You know, the thing is they were able to move it up court so quickly, Coach. Nate Murray there, 6 points. Then you'll see Slotz ahead to Boston here. Makes a nice drive and lays it in. Zach Adams as well had a nice first half. Another steal for Cuba City. Zach Adams with the finish and the flush. Trent Denlinger leads the way with 10 points in this one. And there you see the first half stats. It really does stand out. I mean, look at the shooting for Cuba City. They're getting great looks inside. The points off the turnovers, the inside points, everything is pointing Cuba City's way.
Yeah, all the stats are, I mean, the field goal percentage is just, and the shots, 26 to 19, and then, of course, the makes. And they're getting good shots. They're getting shots at the rim.
So that is the question now is, with a 19-point deficit, how can Oshkosh Lourdes get back into this thing?
Well, I don't know how they've played, if they've done any pressing, or I mean, you want to try to change some of the tempo, one way or another. I don't know if they want to press, if they want to maybe try some kind of half-court trap, a run and jump, something just to change what's going on instead of just letting Cuba City do it, you know, kind of move their offense and then beat you with their size.
Here is a look at those leading scorers right now. Kyle Hellman does have 6 for Oshkosh Lourdes. Denlinger leads the way for Cuba City. They've also got 9 from Adams and 7 from Boston. You know, Coach Riedinger said coming into this game, the coach for Oshkosh Lourdes, that the size and the strength was really something that concerned him, and you can see why.
Yeah, absolutely. And the unselfishness. Boston being a 19-point scorer, but I bet he's probably got 3 or 4 assists to guys for layups, that he just being an unselfish player.
All right, 40-21, Cuba City on top right now. Well, the second half of action coming up. Now a message from your local station. This is your WIAA network station. Welcome back to the Kohl Center. 40-21, Cuba City on top of Oshkosh Lourdes as we get set to start the third quarter in this Division IV state semifinal game. You know, Oshkosh Lourdes, I mean, they haven't had a bad loss this year, Coach, and we talked about the 3 teams that they have lost to, and here's a look at what they've done in the playoffs. They defeated Iola Scandinavia, Algoma, then Shiocton, and then that close game against Amherst to get here to stay.
Yeah, and I think they thought they were probably, Auburndale was undefeated most of the season and then lost a couple games late. So Amherst upset Auburndale and then gave them a run for their money too. And I talked to Coach Jensen, and he said they had a chance, you know, a 3-pointer look that didn't go in for them. So that was, like you said, basically one of their only challenges of the playoffs.
Robbie Clayman hit 3 of 4 free throws in the closing seconds of that sectional final win against Amherst, and that's one of the big reasons why they are here against Cuba City. Well, the 2012 WIAA tournament is brought to you by Marshfield Clinic, encouraging you to live an active, healthy life. Marshfield Clinic, don't just live, shine. Well, if you're Coach Pettigrew over there, what are you telling your players?
Keep doing what you're doing. I think they're they're pretty confident in what they're doing defensively. And offensively, they're using some sets, and they're really working off cross screens and then looking high-low for one big to another big. So, I mean, more of the same. And, again, keep locking out and keep closing out on shooters.
Well, we saw Brett Bayman for Oshkosh Lourdes coming out here at the half, and just a couple of minutes ago, I mean, he's trying to rile his teammates up a little bit, clapping his hands, saying, hey, come on, guys. Yeah, we're down by 19, but let's just start whittling away. You never know what can happen here.
Well, if you've watched any of the NCAA the last week or so, there's been some big leads that have been
well, you said to keep doing what they're doing, and that's what Coach Pettigrew told them. That's exactly what they did. They go inside to Denlinger. He's got 12 points to lead the way. And stolen once again by Cuba City. That's 12 turnovers now for Oshkosh Lourdes. Cubans inside, no, but a whistle, and heading to the line will be Zach Adams.
Also number 23, Brett Bayman. That's his first team.
Brett Bayman with that foul for Oshkosh Lourdes. That's his first foul.
One other thing that Coach Pettigrew said, you know, Vossen averaging 19 points a game, but with the leads that they've had, some of these guys haven't played in the fourth quarter. You know, so these statistics are even more amazing just by, you know, some of the quarters that some of these kids probably ended up playing during the year.
Zach Adams makes one of two. So we are out to a 22-point lead for Cuba City very early on here in the third quarter. Cuba City continues to swarm on defense there. Inside, blocked away by Denlinger, and here come the Cubans. I'll tell you what, I mean, Denlinger standing at 6'6".
Here comes the cross screen again. Here it is.
As big as he is, just makes it difficult for guys. Three-point attempt. Just a little long there. So one and done for the Cubans. Here comes Oshkosh Lourdes. They've taken a lot of threes, but they'll slice inside this time and get it to go. Charlie Noon, the sophomore starter, with a nice move there.
I was interested to see if they're going to do any full court stuff, but you kind of got to score to be able to do that, and they didn't. They're still in their half court man.
Three-pointer, yes. Brandon Slotts knocking it down. He's got 8 points now. He is 2 for 2 from beyond the arc. He averages just over 4 points per game, but he's got double that right now. Cubans take it away again. Laying it in there is Nate Murray. 48-23, Cuba City on top. And Coach Riedinger wants to talk about this and try and settle his guys down a little bit.
That's a 30-second timeout.
30-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here. Well, you know, if you're Oshkosh, you want to come out, do some things a little differently, obviously, to try to whittle away at this. It certainly has not worked out the way they wanted to start the second half.
No, they turned it over a couple times. Again, low hand and then out on the break and just finishing.
This is nothing rare this year, folks, for what we've seen out of Cuba City. I mean, 18 steals a game. They do what they're doing right now very, very well. There you see Division IV record book, most steals in a single game. Oshkosh Lourdes actually holds that record along with Assumption. Well, Cuba City has 11 tonight and still plenty of time on the clock. Nearly a whole second half to possibly set a new record. Cuba City, a perfect 26-0 on the year. Oshkosh Lourdes, 23-3. When you take a look at who Oshkosh Lourdes has lost to this year, we mentioned Randolph, but the other two teams, Coach, are actually here at state.
Yes, both schools, Oshkosh North, who beat DC Everest in the sectional championship, and then Racine Lutheran, who we saw play earlier today.
Cuba City continuing to swing it around here. Now that jumper inside is good for Nate Murray. But he does that so well, cutting inside, and he's hitting the fadeaways, he's hitting those jumpers, he's doing it all tonight.
Again, you can understand why Coach Pettigrew thinks this is his best overall team with all the parts combined.
They're just, so far they've just been meticulous the way they've been able to work on both sides of the ball. Defensively, offensively, they've just done everything so well tonight.
Well, a lot of schools would just like to have one or two of those five that they have out there, and they have all five guys. Like you said, even somebody slots averaging 4 points a game, they're leaving them open because they're obviously covering inside, but he's knocked down threes when he's been left open.
Well, you can see why all five of the starters were named to the all-conference first team. I tell you what, they hounded Denlinger. He was still able to get that ball away to his teammate, Nate Murray. Just the strength of Denlinger to knock that to his teammate.
Yeah, he went through a little gauntlet there and then got rid of it. And
now we'll have a travel, and it'll go Cuba City's way again. Well, let's take another look.
Three guys.
if you're Lourdes, you did what you had to do there. Just didn't work out. Denlinger stands 6'6", 270 pounds. Coach says he can slam. We've seen him do that before. He's quick as well for his size. You can understand why Coach Bielema wants him on the Badger football team too, with his size and strength.
They like to use that cross screen, and then Vossen will come up to the mid lane line and then turn and look for a high-low if they don't get it to the low man on that cross screen.
This is Slots, the 5'9" junior guard. Now he'll slice inside, just off the mark. Oh, there was a nice look inside there. It was a good feed. The feed was nice. He just couldn't control it on the other end, but Charlie Newton tried to make something happen there.
It was a nice bounce pass, led him right to the basket. He just fumbled it a little bit, and it went out of bounds.
We talked about Charlie Newton. You can see the type of player he's going to be in years to come, too. Just a sophomore. Cuba City very much in control of this one. Up 52-23 right now. Continue to try to go inside. That time, Lourdes was able to take it away. Now batted away yet again, and someone's going to get this eventually. There we go. The trickery just didn't quite work that time. Saw that behind-the-back pass there by Corey Vossen.
Well, with the way they play defensively, kind of that scrum is kind of what they're used to doing with the 1-3-1. You get a hand on it, a loose ball, and you got to go after it. So it's something that those guys are probably used to.
Well, we just mentioned Corey Vossen. We'll get a good look at him again here in a second. A three-point attempt off the mark right there for Jason Derby. Something I want to tell you about Corey Vossen that Coach told me that was kind of interesting. And here he is. Corey Vossen, certainly don't want to say that he was ever scrawny, because I highly doubt that, but he came in a little chiseled, and Coach was like, "What are you doing?" I guess he was working with a bodybuilder, is what Coach said, over his 6-week span. As that one goes there for Jason Derby. But at any rate, Coach said, yeah, you know what, he became absolutely chiseled. I couldn't believe it, and now he can just do it all. On top of hitting threes, he'll beat you on the open floor, and Coach Pettigrew said, back in the day, like Coach Bob Knight used to say, you don't want guys to get too big. They become almost unathletic. Well, that's not the case anymore. Coach Pettigrew said, get him in the weight room as much as you possibly can.
No, weight programs are definitely come a long way, even since a few years ago.
So 55-23 Cuba City with 2.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Now a message from our statewide sponsors. This is your WIAA network station.
To be heard is a powerful thing. When you help someone speak, you're not only giving them a voice, you're giving them an identity. By amplifying the voices of educators, speaking out for programs like special education, WIAA speaks for me and my students. Add your voice to the conversation at Speak Out Wisconsin on Facebook.
When I was a kid, I loved to eat. Oh, food, and more food. Junk, loved it. Didn't matter what it was. This is kind of actually painful to look at. But you know what? Coming up, you're going to see what I look like. No, that's not me. Come on, that's a beauty queen. Get her out of my story. That's me now. Much better. I just think it's important to set a good example for my daughter.
Welcome back to the Kohl Center. There you see the score of our Division IV state semifinal game. Yep, it has been all Cuba City, 55-23. There's a look at the field goals this quarter. Oshkosh Lourdes just 1 of 2. Cuba City 6 of 9. And Coach, explain why they've only had 2 shots so far.
Well, we've turned it over for the most part outside, even on the break, and then trying to get it inside with the 2 or 3 guys getting a hand on the ball, or it's been blocked. They've had 2 block shots in a row now. Their size and length has just, been intimidating to Oshkosh Lourdes.
I got to imagine that when you've got that much of a disparity in size and strength like that, you're going to get worn down as well. I mean, these guys, they're playing hard out here, but it's just so difficult against this Cuba City team.
Well, every pass has to be perfect, and every shot has to go in, and that's difficult to do.
That shot is short there by Jason Derby. Hit 1 3 just a second ago and figured he'd try it again.
Maybe a step out further than Coach Pettigrew would like him.
Yeah, Oshkosh Lourdes with 20 turnovers in this game right now. 9 of those in the last 5+ minutes. And another one. So 10 turnovers in this quarter alone. And that is really why Cuba City has been able to just balloon this lead out to what it is. That 3-point attempt is good by Einar Fremont, the junior guard. And if we're correct here, 16 steals now for Cuba City in this game, so 1 more will tie them with the record for Division 5. Well, just a little off the mark there. Brandon Slotts tried to just kick that thing up, thought he was fouled, was not. It was a nice feed, though, by Corey Bosson.
They're still staying true to their principles as far as what they're doing offensively. I think they maybe the last 3 probably wasn't something that they would normally take, but I think everything else has pretty much come within their offense.
Sam Seibold, Robbie Clayman, Dylan Sommerfeld coming into the game for Oshkosh Lourdes. There you saw Jimmy Brooks taking a seat. This one is stolen by Lourdes. This is Mickey Hardenbach, and he just couldn't finish. He made a nice move there to take it away.
Kind of the way it's went.
So 20 seconds left here in this third quarter as the Cubans just continue to dominate and setting up for a chance of playing the Division IV championship game coming up on Saturday. Now, nice move and can't finish, but there's Bosson inside. And that shot at the buzzer, no good. So, there you go. 60-23. Cuba City on top after 3 quarters. Now a message from your local station. This is your WIAA network station. in my mind. Welcome back to the Kohl Center. This WIAA game summary is brought to you by Skyward, creator of Skyward School Management System and Skyward Family Access, the best solution for Wisconsin schools, districts, and parents. And wow, you look at those numbers, Coach. Some impressive ones, to say the least, for Cuba City.
Well, it's total domination. I mean, there's no other way to talk about it. The size, the strength. I mean, the skill level also is pretty high, too. It's not just being bigger and stronger than somebody else.
You know, Coach Pettigrew talked about this D4 field. He said this is just an extremely tough field to be taking part in. I mean, and he talked about the other teams involved later on. You'll see them later on tonight in about half an hour or so. He said Dominican. He calls Dominican a monster. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see as we move to Saturday how the Division IV championship is going to set up.
Well, I'll tell you what, I have not seen Dominican play, but I can't believe that Cuba City can't play with them.
Well, we'll see if Colfax has something to say about it as well. Absolutely. Coming up here. Dawson's jumper off the mark. Once again, that size advantage. Right there was Adams to take it away, and
number 45, Dylan Summerfeld.
We have a whistle called against Dylan Summerfeld. Well, Coach Pettigrew is going to get another victory in his legendary coaching career. This will be number 818 tonight and number 756 in his 40 years at Cuba City.
I don't think he writes those down anymore, do you? Somebody else has to keep track of them.
Cuba City by 38 points.
Now they're back in the 1-3-1, but they're not out contesting. They're just staying inside. I imagine they've had to do this a couple times this year also.
Another steal for Cuba City. So that is 17 now, and that ties the Division V record for most steals in one D5 state game. And lay-in there is good by Zach Adams. And I should say Division IV state championship record of 17 steals. That ties it.
Boston is just so impressive, the unselfishness and seeing plays develop.
Also number 42, Nate Murray, his second.
So Nate Murray picks up that foul, and heading to the line now will be Dylan Summerfeld. The 6'4" junior just off the mark there. Coming into the game is Mickey Hartenbach for Oshkosh Lourdes, and Robbie Clayman will take a seat. Make no mistake, Oshkosh Lourdes has had a heck of a season this year. Coach Riedinger talked about the great basketball being played in the city of Oshkosh as well this year. Then you got Oshkosh North, you got Lourdes, and then you even go back, of course, before that. Oshkosh West is a very good team and has been here. So a lot of great basketball in the city of Oshkosh.
Very competitive over in the Fox Valley.
Oshkosh Lourdes, number 20, Josh Kelmus.
Oshkosh Lourdes went 14-1 in the Trailways North Conference this year to take first place. The 2012 WIAA tournament is brought to you by Associated Bank. Sign up for Associated Bank checking today and get exclusive Packers checks featuring Aaron Rodgers himself. For details, visit AssociatedBank.com.
That's the record.
Well, I'll tell you what, Corey Vossen with that steal and lay-in, and as you just said, 18 steals now, and that is a Division IV state record. Most steals in one game. Pretty impressive, but as we said earlier, that's also what they average per game. Let's take a look at the record breaker here by Vossen. Vossen on the finish. He's got 11 points. They've got 4 players now in doubles. You got Vossen with 11. Zach Adams with 13 leads the way. Nate Murray with 12. And Denlinger with 12 as well. Vossen just made it 13 for himself now, so he's tied with Adams for the team lead as Cuba City goes up 65-24. 67-24, I should say.
Coach is coming with some subs.
We're about ready to unload the 5 players on the floor for Cuba City right now as Coach Pettigrew has picked out 5 new guys to come on in. 3-pointer is good for Sam Seibold. All right, say goodbye to the 5 players for Cuba City right now. What a game they have had. Talking about Vossen, talking about Murray, Denlinger. So we'll see who all comes in right now for Cuba City after this timeout. Nice swing around there, and Seibold was able to swish it home. Well, it continues to be a festive atmosphere down here at the Kohl Center. The Oshkosh fans still excited, and the Cuba City fans can look forward to their team moving on to the Division IV state championship game to take on either Dominican or Colfax at DPA at about 12:45 in the afternoon. All right, so some of the guys we've got out on the floor now. It's Jason Derby, Griffin Eckert right there. This is Einar Fremont, who's been in the game. Kicking it over there to Griffin Eckert, who turns it over. We've also got Jeff Meckstroth out on the floor as well right now. And Jordan Huber. Those are the 5 new players that Coach Pettigrew sent in with 4 minutes left in this D4 state semifinal. Get those guys some state experience. A 3-point attempt is off the mark. Trying to save it there and kicked right over by us. Sam Seibold. That'll be the Cubans' ball.
Reporting in for Oshkosh Lourdes.
And coming into the game right now for Oshkosh Lourdes is Josh Hansinger. And he's going to have Mickey Hartenbach, the senior, take a seat here. Hansinger is a 5'9" senior guard, as you see.
Getting some of these kids some playing time, get on the floor.
Get a chance to feel what it's like here at the state tournament. Couple of shots there for Cuba City, nearly put back. Now we'll have a whistle.
Guys still playing hard.
So it's going to be Einar Fremont heading to the line right now. Fremont does have 3 points tonight. As we said earlier, he averages just over 3.8 points per game, and try to add to this total here tonight. You can certainly see, Coach, why Cuba City is sitting undefeated, why they have outscored opponents this year, 78-38. They're obviously very well coached by a legendary coach, and they do it very, very well. Coach Pettigrew has this team motivated and playing with extreme confidence.
Poise also. I mean, it didn't seem like they were in a hurry to do anything. Sometimes when you're undefeated, you want to get that lead real quick. They didn't rush into anything.
Well, and Coach Pettigrew talked about that earlier this week, is that, that one team that he had that was undefeated in 1983, great team that he's had. But it does make a difference sometimes in terms of pressure when you are undefeated like that. You kind of got that mark and that whole deal. You feel like you got to come out and prove that, hey, we're undefeated for a reason. And this team has not been here since 2005. None of these guys have ever played here at the state tournament, so it's not like they've got a whole lot of experience on the Kohl Center court.
No, not here, but they had a great season last year, too, so it's not like this was something that just happened.
And they lost last year in the sectional final to Blair Taylor. That's Griffin Eckert with the basket there. 6'4" junior. Getting on the board for Cuba City. But again, they have now lost since that sectional final to Blair Taylor last year. We got 4 more guys getting set to come in for Cuba City here as well. So they get some guys some experience. We'll have some more coming into the game here. Got Alex Murphy coming in. Nathan Wallenhorst, it looks like. Preston Dressler as well will be coming in. So another timeout, 2.5 minutes to go here in this Division IV state semifinal game. There you look at the D4 record book. Largest win margin in any game is 31. That was 1995, Oakfield over Plum City. And yes, Cuba City leads by 41. So unless things change here in a hurry, it's going to be another record for Cuba City in this game. They've already got the record for the most steals in a D4 state game in 19. Now it looks like they may have the biggest margin of victory. There's a look at Nathan Wallenhorst getting some playing time here at state.
Well, I would expect this group just to do what the first group did, just be, run good offense, take good shots.
That shot there was off the mark by Alex Murphy. Gavin Galaska kicking it over there to David Grunstead. And some new players on both sides, both Cuba City and Oshkosh Lourdes. Just a couple of minutes left in this game. We'll be back with the rest of the action. Now a message from our statewide sponsors. This is your WIAA network station.
Okay, Edith, you are all set with the Packers checking account.
Thank you.
And we have a special gift for you.
Oh?
Hello, Edith.
Want more Aaron Rodgers in your life?
Oh, my.
Is that part of the deal?
Oh.
Get exclusive Packers checks featuring Aaron when you open a Packers checking account. For details, go to your nearest branch or visit us online.
So do you play canasta?
All the time.
I love that game.
Save big money during the Menards March Madness sale. Outsmart the elements with Latitude wiper blades from Rain-X. They're designed to deliver the ultimate smooth, clean, chatter-free wipe. In assorted sizes, your choice, $12.79 each. Get premium results with Painters Made Green Painter's Tape. It delivers crisp lines and cleanly removes up to 8 days later. A 4-pack of 1.5-inch or a 6-pack of 1-inch tape are $12.97 each.
Save big money at Menards.
Welcome back, and there you see the score of this D4 state semifinal. It is 70-27. Cuba City shooting 55% for the game. They've got 19 steals. They've done it all and done it very, very well. Now another 3 is off the mark there. That one was by Alex Murphy.
That shooting percentage will go down a little bit, but when the first group is in there, they're shooting at a high percentage.
Well, again, the impressive thing, there's another steal by Cuba City, so make it 20 steals now tonight. Taken back away by Oshkosh Lourdes. What we're seeing in there right now is, with the exception of Jeff Mextroth, I believe, the size differential is not as impressive, obviously, as it was before with the starters in the game. But that was, and we'll talk about that some more. That was the big difference in this game. One of the big differences is just how much taller Cuba City was. Again, don't want to take anything away from Oshkosh Lourdes and the season that they had.
Well, to get to state, you had to play some pretty good basketball, and there's a lot on the line. So from that aspect, I don't look at the season not being a success. They had a great record, got here to Madison, and then fulfilled some dreams from some kids.
Well, I want to mention 21 steals now for Cuba City. That is the most steals in state history of any division now. 19 steals was the previous record by Catholic Memorial, and that was 2004 in Division II. So Cuba City making its mark, not just in D4 tonight, but in all divisions combined. Pretty impressive. When Jerry Pettigrew talks, people listen, and when he tells you this is the most talented team that he's had in 4 decades, as I said before, that is truly saying something.
Well, and I haven't seen them play yet, so to see them play tonight was, I mean, their size, strength, fundamentals, I mean, they have it all right now.
Jumper just long there by John Yurk of Oshkosh Lourdes. Now that's Nathan Wallenhorst kicking it over there to Murray. Nope. But there it is to go there. Who is that? That's Mextroff. Jeff Mextroff putting that one in. A big smile on the junior's face. Closing seconds of the Division IV state semifinal game. Yet another steal to add to their record total. 22 for Cuba City. Going to put it up at the buzzer. No, off the mark. But the only thing that didn't go right for Cuba City tonight. 72-27. The Cubans of Cuba City are moving on to the Division IV state championship game. Now a message from your local station. This is your WIAA network station.
I've got ticket information for Cuba City. They will be selling tickets for their next state tournament basketball game, which will be held Saturday. They'll sell here at the Kohl Center. Patrons should immediately proceed to the Johnson Pavilion next to the Independent Window. As for tickets for Saturday's championship game for Cuba City, proceed to the Johnson Pavilion. Purchase your tickets.
Welcome back to the Kohl Center. 72-27. Cuba City beats Oshkosh Lourdes. So that's the final of this D4 state semifinal game. Hey, let's hear from a very familiar face, Coach Pettigrew, and a couple of happy players as well. Scott Emmerich, take it away.
Jake, thanks very much. Jerry, that 1-3-1 zone really got to him. Was that Cuba City at your best?
You know, we've played well all year. We really have. I said from day one, this is a good basketball team. I was really concerned about Oshkosh Lourdes because they really play good, solid man defense. But I thought our guys handled it well, you know. And, boy, we've got those three big guys in the middle, you know, Denlinger, Vossen, and Adams, along with my two guards, Murray and Slots. They do a nice job.
An all-tournament record, 22 steals in this one. You got off to the 9-0 run early in the game, 20-2 run in the third quarter to put it away. Getting off to a quick start, coming out of the locker room, was that an emphasis?
Yeah, you know, I mean, they were up 3-0, and I was a little concerned, but I'm nervous all the time anyway. You know what I mean? But, yeah, I just thought our kids were ready. And, hey, there's no illusion about Saturday. This Dominican team's probably, next to Germantown, probably the second best team in the state, you know, so it'll be a tough game.
Let's bring in the tall timber here. Trent, tell me about that defense. How far do you guys spread out, and how key is your defense?
Our defense has been great all year, and we're really long and lanky, so it helps out, and we're strong in the middle.
Corey, 13 points today. Jerry's been around here for quite a while here. Have you guys talked about getting the old ball coach another gold trophy?
It'd be nice, but it'll be a tough game next game, so we just want to come out ready to play.
How important was it to get off to that fast start?
It was good. We said at the beginning in the locker room, we wanted the first 3 minutes to come out and take care of business, so.
Trent, let me ask you. Jerry's got a rich tradition here at Cuba City. He's built it up. What does it mean for you guys to get back to the state title game?
It's a great feeling to get coached back here and get it back here for ourselves, and it's great to bring the ball back to Cuba now.
All right. Well, they'll get a chance tomorrow, I beg your pardon, on Saturday, on Championship Saturday. They'll play the winner of our next game, Whitefish Bay Dominican and Colfax. Jake, back over to you.
Okay, Scott, thanks. It makes me laugh hearing Coach Bettigue saying, hey, I was nervous. I was nervous the whole game.
He's been doing this for a while, so if he's still nervous, there's no hope for the rest of us.
He is something else. Again, 72-27, a record-breaking night here for Cuba City. Let's take a look at our play of the game, and this was the record breaker. The steal here, Vossen taking it all the way in. This is our Wisconsin Corn Growers play of the game, brought to you by the Wisconsin Corn Growers Association, working hard to provide food and fuel to America.
Wisconsin's corn growers know how to grow lots of corn. Some goes to feed a hungry world, some goes to feed our livestock industry, and some goes into ethanol production, and that's saving you money at the pump. In fact, studies show that it would cost you an average 90 cents more per gallon to fill up if we didn't have ethanol in the marketplace. With ever-increasing yields per acre, Wisconsin's corn growers are meeting the demand for food, feed, and fuel, and that's good for all of us.
Okay, I don't.
When you buy Wisconsin dairy products, your hard-earned dollar brings you more than just the quality and great taste you know and love. It supports the dairy industry, which in turn reinvests that money back into your community, resulting in better public services, abundant recreation opportunities, and a beautiful place to call home. In all, dairy contributes $26.5 billion to Wisconsin's economy, and eventually comes back to benefit you. To learn more, visit youtube.com/dairyimpactwisconsin.
Welcome back to the Kohl Center. Again, 72-27, Cuba City over Oshkosh Lourdes to advance to the Division IV state championship. Let's take a look at some of these second half highlights here. I mean, Oshkosh Lourdes did its best to try to stay in this one. That was a quick look at Sommerfeld. Now we'll take a look here at Sam Seibold knocking down that three. Seibold had 5 points tonight, but Cuba City just too tough. This long jumper there by Brandon Slotz. Coach Pettigrew talked about his strong play. One of the 22 steals tonight. Again, a record, an all-tournament record for number of steals in a game. That one by Nate Murray. This one, Murray takes it away again, kicks it over to his teammate. Nice speed inside. As you see, finishing it off is Zach Adams. Adams had a nice night, 13 points. Yet another steal. This is Corey Vossen finishing it off. Vossen had 13 points tonight as well to lead the way along with Adams. Take a look at the final stats. Field goal percentage, free throw percentage, three-point shooting, and obviously the steals stand out in those inside points, Coach.
Yeah, just lopsided as the score.
Let's take a look at the leading scorers right now from tonight's game. I mentioned the two on the bottom there, Corey Vossen, Zach Adams. We had a few others as well for Cuba City. Nate Murray and Denlinger had 12. Give it up for Oshkosh Lourdes as well on a fine season. Kyle Hellman had 6 points tonight, Sam Seibold 5, and Charlie Newman 5 too. But again, Cuba City just way too tough, so physical inside and out. They play great defense, that trapping defense as well with that 1-3-1. I mean, Coach, a very impressive team, and you see why they're undefeated.
Well, again, talking about Oshkosh Lourdes a little bit, this is a great season. I mean, just to get down here is a goal of a lot of teams, and then obviously to play a team like Cuba City, who may be the best team in the state, we'll find out on Saturday.
They're going to play just after noon on Saturday. They'll play either the winner of Colfax or Dominican. That game is coming up in just a few minutes. But for right now, let's send it up top to Brian Groff.
All right, thank you very much, Jake.